Ray is able to join us now. Hi, Ray, how are you?
I'm fine, Mark. Good.
Right. Yeah, I mean, of course, people are excited, a new record from you, but featuring Chrissie Hynde.
I know, that's a curveball, as they say in America.
Well, that's it. I mean, you know, everybody knows your history, so obviously you're on good terms now.
No. Why change a good thing? No, it's what happened was I had this track. I wrote this track about 3 or 4 years ago. I started writing it seriously when I found out London was getting the Olympics, and I started this little project called Olympic Land I wanted to put out around the time of the Olympics,
right,
about East London and how it will change. And this song came from that idea. It's about someone sort of leaving the country, leaving a relationship behind. It started off, you know, a relationship song. And I put the track down, recorded it with the choral people in the background and the whole band, and did my bit. And the woman's part, my girlfriend had done the vocal on the demo, but the woman's part was to be decided.
Yeah.
And I thought of you asking Dame Vera Lynn at first.
Wow.
But
well, she would have guaranteed she's back in the charts.
Well, you know, ever the opportunist. But basically, you know, Chris's name came out with a few others, and I thought, this is a very strange idea. And I got her phone number and texted her, and she said, yeah, I'd do it, because I haven't seen her since we were together. And
right.
We don't have contact.
Right.
And she said, send it over, and I sent it over, and she said, I always know when I can spot a good tune. She can still spot one.
Yeah.
And she came in, and I'd done all my stuff. She went in and did her bit in about 2 or 3 hours. So.
Did you meet? Were you there when she did it, or did you do the bit separately?
I was behind a one-way mirror.
So has this rekindled a friendship, or is that you just crossed?
No, I was there, but it's you know, it's very difficult when you haven't seen someone for so long.
Yeah.
But she did a grand job, real pro, and
yeah,
and it works quite well, I think.
Are you a fan of duets? I mean, obviously around this time of year we're used to hearing Shane and Kirsty quite a lot.
Yeah. Next year I'm doing an album of collaborations, and I'm very excited about that. There's a lot of interest from people to do that, doing some of my songs and doing maybe new songs we'd write together, so it's a very exciting project for the new year.
Any names confirmed for that?
Bruce said he would like to do it. Yeah, that's good.
Bruce who?
Tommy Bruce. No, Bruce Springsteen. I met him I just played New York. I did the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame anniversary concert at Madison Square Garden about 4 weeks ago, and he expressed an interest in doing one song with me, which is great.
Wow, fantastic.
And
yeah.
But I want to mix it up. You know, I want to get great people like that, but not such obvious people. You know, I'd like to get some eclectic people in as well.
Yeah.
So it'll be a fun project.
I mean, as you mentioned on the Postcard from London, as well as you and Chrissie, there is the Crouch End Festival chorus. I think I read somewhere that you'd said it's kind of like the people who should be singing these songs, or some words to that effect.
Well, many of the songs I wrote could have been written within 100 yards of where I live. The characters about the well-respected men, dedicated followers of fashion. They're all people I used to see on the street. And, you know, these people are from that area, so the North London area where I used to live.
But is London still the muse, then? You talked about Olympic Land. I mean, obviously London is an ever-changing thing. Does that still give you limitless ideas?
London is a changing city, and the reason I thought of Olympic... At the time, I was talking about doing a show out in Stratford East, Theatre Royal Stratford East, and it's literally a stone's throw from the new stadium. And I just looked at it and thought, you know, London's really going to be changed by the Olympics, and it's going to be an interesting little piece of theatre I'm doing, you know, with songs like Postcard from London, and just my comment on what I think's happening.
Yeah, right. Looking at London now and comparing it to when you were writing Waterloo Sunset, I mean, it's changed. It's too kind of simplistic to say, is it better or worse? But are the things that you like about London now better, and things you like about it less than back then?
Well, that's a tough question. I think, obviously, I veer towards liking it as it was.
Yes.
It is, I mean, you know, apart from things like parking wardens and things like that, the curse, there are some blessings there, and the skyline looks pretty good. You know, sometimes I walk up to Primrose Hill, which is like near Hampstead, and I look over London at New Year's Eve, and when the fireworks go off, it's really spectacular, and all those glass buildings really reflect the fireworks well.
Yeah. I mean, could you ever see yourself, without prying into your personal circumstances, could you ever see yourself moving out to the country, or maybe you have, I don't know, or do you have to be in London?
I think London's where I work, and where I do a lot of my office is in London, and it's where I hang my hat at the moment. But I'm thinking of moving out for a while. Yeah.
Are you? Well, it's still in England, or?
I'd stay in England, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Why particularly now? Just feel you just want to change?
I want to change, and I've been based in London for the last 5-6 years, non-stop without a break.
Yeah.
And when I've done the Olympic Land project, I'll sort of try moving out.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough then. Yeah. Also, one of the stories that keeps circulating is Kinks musical.
Yeah. There's been one in the works for about 5 years. I'd only do it if it was not just purely a jukebox musical, because the story of the Kinks and the characters in it is quite interesting enough to have as a musical anyway.
Well, there's plenty of material there, isn't there?
There's plenty of laughs, yeah.
and how's Dave?
Oh, how's Dave? Dave is great. I think Dave might be doing a few dates in the new year in America, because, as you know, he was quite seriously ill about 4 years ago.
Yes.
And he's finding his way back,
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens with him, if he wants to get involved.
Right.
I've done a few demos with Mick Avery and a couple of the other Kinks, former Kinks. Yeah. And they sound pretty good, so Avery can still cut the mustard on the drums. So.
Yeah, right. So there may be new Kinks stuff. Yeah, right. And when you famously documented London, was there anyone else who, when you were growing up, whose records you admired? That you thought that's what I want to do, something you aspired to.
Well, strangely, like most Londoners, I was influenced by music from the Mississippi and like the blues, country and western. Hank Williams, I love. Buddy Holly, I love for some reason. I love the way you don't understand all the lyrics on his records. It's because of his way he sings, but you copy the way he sings them. Big Bill Broonzy, who a lot of people may not know.
Right.
But I love people like that.
So let's finish off by playing a track of someone who inspired the young Ray Davies. You mentioned Hank, you mentioned Buddy, you mentioned Bo, Big Bill Broonzy. Who would you like to hear?
Well, strangely enough, I did a tour called Storyteller, and I had all these influences on a show tape before I went on. And I mixed in with it an English music hall artist called George Formby.
Right.
And a lot of people, when I was touring America, they'd hear Big Bill Broonzy, they'd hear John Lee Hooker, Bo Diddley, then they'd hear this guy from the north of England doing When I'm Cleaning Windows. And a lot of Americans thought that he must be some sort of obscure Cajun blues artist. And they come up to me and say, "Hey, man, that guy who sang about the window cleaning, he must have been a real blues man." But it's George Formby.
Oh, right, well, that's perfect.
Right.
Right, we'll have that then. Lovely talking to you, Ray.